Hi everybody, welcome to Shavasana and welcome to your yin yoga class for a healthy spine. We're going to really get deep into the fascia, to the ligaments, tendons, and connective tissues as we stay steady and stable for a couple minutes in each pose. If you have a pillow or a bolster, and you can bring it to the mat, please do so. You also have the option of using a block in some of these poses. These props are interchangeable, so if you only have a pillow, and it doesn't need to be a bolster, just use your pillow. A firmer pillow might work a little more with these poses. Otherwise, maybe stack two soft pillows together. All right, so let's just get into it now. We're going to turn to face the short edge of our mat. Bring the toes together as you open up the knees pretty wide. And then start to sink your hips back and down onto your heels. And you come into child's pose by walking your hands out in front of you. If you want now, you can bring either the pillow or the block to rest under your head as you come into child's pose. That'll make it a little more gentle on your body. If you want to take it a little deeper, you can always remove the pillow or the block. Start to let everything go. Really connect with your inner self, with your breath. Breathing through the nose for the rest of your practice. Perhaps setting an intention while we're here in our first pose. Maybe setting an intention for something in your future, something you plan for. Maybe something you need to do or would like to do. Or perhaps just focusing on this moment, this practice. Remember, you can always remove the prop if you begin to feel like you've reached a point where you want to take it a little deeper. Staying constant with your breath. Keeping the inhales slow and long and deep. Giving yourself at least the same amount of time to exhale. Take a few more deep breaths here. On your next inhale, begin to lift your hips up. Move forward, bringing your forearms down onto the mat and extend your legs long behind you. Stack your shoulders over your elbows, palms are on the mat. Sphinx Pose. Tops of your feet are down, looking straight ahead, finding this gentle back bend. Try to release the shoulders, allow them to loosen downward. Make sure your neck is long here, so you're not jacking your head up and getting too much extension through your neck. You really want it long here, so it just continues the long line from the base of your spine to your crown. Feel free to close your eyes. On your next inhale, start to walk your hands back as you lift yourself up onto your knees, coming into a tabletop pose. From here, thread your right arm under your left, sliding the top of the hand along the floor until you bring your right ear to the mat, right shoulder to the mat. Coming into your threaded needle, you can either stay here with your left palm planted into the mat next to you, or you can walk that left hand forward. Just gently allow your spine to release into your twist. If you walked your left palm out, start to walk it back and then push it into the mat so you can start to lift the right shoulder, the right ear up, pull that right hand back. Let's switch to the other side. Turn the left hand down till the top of the hand is on the mat and then slide it under your right arm, bringing your left shoulder, your left ear to the mat. And deciding whether you want to keep your right palm on the mat right where it is, or walk it forward. Begin to walk your right hand back if it's outstretched, and then push the right hand into the mat to lift the left ear, lift the left shoulder, coming into tabletop position. From tabletop position, keep your hips stacked right over your knees. You're simply going to walk your hands out in front of you until you feel the need to bring your forearms down to the mat. Then slide them further forward to bring your forehead to the mat, taking your puppy pose. Hips are still stacked right over the knees. Finding that beautiful extension through our upper spines. If you feel like you can take it even further, you can bring your chin down to the mat and try to bring the chest closer to the floor. If you're on your chin, bring your forehead back to the mat. Push your forehead into the mat to lift your elbows up. And then really root down with your hands to lift your head up. Good. Walk your hands back. Beautiful. Come down onto your hips and extend your legs out in front of you. Grab your pillows, or your block, and bring it on top of your lap. We're going to take a forward fold. You can either have the pillow long way or sideways. Just try to fold over, allowing yourself to find that spinal flexion, maybe reaching for your toes, maybe resting your head on your pillow. If you have a pillow and a block, perhaps you want to bring the block on top of the pillow to let it hold your forehead. If you're doing this with just one pillow or two, you can always kind of roll up those pillows to give them a little more height so that maybe you can rest your head or your chest on them as you stay in this fold. And always feel free to adjust if you want to take the block or the pillows a little higher, a little lower as you stay in your stretch. Slowly start to come out of this by bringing your hands to the sides of your legs, pushing your hands into the mat so you can walk them back and lift your torso up. From here, move the props to the side, scoot down into the middle of the mat and roll your back down. We're going to come into supported bridge. So for this, you can use whichever prop feels good in your body. Bend your knees, and you're going to lift up your tailbone slightly so you can slide the prop underneath your lower back, right above your glutes, finding a position that suits you. If this feels too low and you want to take it higher, perhaps you stack the pillows, maybe you use the block on a higher setting. Just make sure the block or the pillows are placed in a way that you feel supported, so you're not having to create too much pressure. Use your glutes to really hold yourself up. You want to feel supported here. Allow your arms to just lay on the mat beside you with the palms facing up. Try to feel a stacking of your knees over your ankles. Now, actively push your feet into the mat so you can lift your hips up and remove the prop from underneath you and roll down one vertebra at a time from top to bottom of your spine. Then bend those knees deeper, bring the knees up in towards your chest, and grab the tops of the shins with your hands and try to bring the knees down in towards you. If it feels good to you. You can even wrap your forearms around your shins, grabbing opposite elbows. Just try to keep the base of your spine grounded here, neck long, back of your head on the mat. Really allow those backs of your shoulders to melt down. And just breathe into any areas of tension that you feel. Now keeping your knees in at your chest, open your arms up either to a wide T or to a cactus shape so that your upper arms are coming straight out in a T shape and that the forearms perhaps are pointing upward. Either way, find that position that feels good where you feel that width in between your shoulders. And then drape both of your knees together to the right, finding a twist. Trying to keep both shoulder blades melting onto the mat. Gently draw back, both knees back up to center and then drape them over to the other side. Again, really melting those shoulder blades down, perhaps finding that one side might be more open or a little more tight than the other side. That's okay. Just find where you need to be and allow yourself to breathe and just stay there, allowing the body to open gently and slowly. And then draw the knees back into center. Allow the soles of the feet to come to the mat. From here, look over at your prop. We're going to come into supported Shavasana. You can either use your block or your bolster or pillow, depending on how you want to take it. If you want to take it more gentle, use your bolster or your pillow. If you want to take it with a little more depth to the pose, perhaps use your block. Lift up your back so that your block or your pillow comes underneath your shoulder blades, middle of your back, a little underneath your shoulder blades. So just so you feel the base of your shoulder blades, maybe on the block, touching the block or touching the pillow. And then allow your head to drop back. Now, if you're on a medium or high setting on your block, your top of your head is going to touch the mat. If you're on your pillow or lower setting on your block, the back of your head will rest on the mat. And be comfortable with that either way. And now extend your legs long on the mat. Open the feet up, hips width distance. And allow yourself to just melt down here and relax. Coming into a supported fish pose, Shavasana. Gently begin to open your eyes. Come back to your space. Lift your head and use your forearms to support yourself while you pull the prop out from under. And then roll to your left side, bringing your hands together under your head. Coming through fetal pose. Eyes closed. Resting here in fetal pose for a few moments. And keeping the eyes closed, now bring your hands out in front of you to push them into the floor and lift your torso up. Come into a seated position that feels good in your body. Perhaps you want to sit on your block or your pillows or your bolster. Bring your hands to rest on top of your knees with the palms facing up. And bring the index finger to touch the thumb. Perhaps returning to the intention you set at the beginning of your practice. And just checking in with it, checking in with how you feel about it. If you still feel the need to complete it, or if it has been let go or changed, if it has been completed, any of those things. Just always checking back in with ourselves, being in touch with how we truly feel, and perhaps finding ourselves change as we meditate with movement and breath in our practice of yoga. On your next inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Palms come to touch, and then bring your hands together in prayer down in front of your heart center. Feeling gratitude for this practice, for this day, for this moment. I am so grateful you chose to share your practice with me today. Namaste.